Found my dad in Montreal. Driving a Ferrari.
Shout out. What's going on, everybody? B show
Gang,
here.
gang.
Can y'all see Styles?
Yeah,
Can you
man.
see Styles? Yeah.
Okay, you already know what it is, baby. Gang, gang. Styles the Prophet all the way from MTL. No, it's fun.
Yeah. So a bit of a
Sure
different podcast tonight. Styles is out of location, but you still got the Basement Weirdos together.
Fucking right. I just want to say though too, we were supposed to have the Deep and Dirty Valley Boys on tonight,
That's right.
and they had a little bit of a hiccup, and they won't be coming in. Obviously, you can see that, but I will say look forward to that episode because they got a lot to talk about, and I've been following them for a bit, and they definitely have a lot of stories to tell us.
Yeah, for sure. I look forward to it.
Definitely.
Especially since it's a bit of a change up from, from having
The usual
music
hip hop
artists on.
guests, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, true that. It's and it's like even before I was talking about like skateboarders or comedians and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like kind of like way out of all of that.
Yeah, right.
But no, I was looking forward to it because they seem to have gained a good like strong following pretty quick.
Absolutely.
And I admire that. If you can build a brand and get a good following like that, I mean, sick.
Yeah, man, for sure. They've definitely built a solid brand.
No, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna ask about Montreal. How was the show last night?
And that's funny because I was just going to tell you about the show last night. That's just funny because we both like started talking and it was about the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
But yeah, no. So actually, it's pretty sick. We sorry, I just had to grab something. So we it was kind of cool though. So like I pulled up, Bully and Floss pulled up, and then later like V pulled up. But like so we just all came to Toronto separately, kind of thing.
Toronto.
And then we all just like pulled up, and then like so. But it was kind of like late, or I shouldn't say late, but it was like I think it was like 7 or 7:30 when we got to the Airbnb, which in the grand scheme of things, the show started at 7:30, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think the show started at 7:30 or maybe 8. So when we got to the Airbnb at like 7:30, it means we don't really have a whole lot of time. But they were also headlining the show. They asked to be on the bill, and actually, I'm not clear on that, but I think that they hit him up and said, "Hey, fucking, can we jump on the show?" And he was like, "Actually, you guys are headlining the show." So it was cool because we're like, hey, if we know they're last, like we don't really have to show up early or anything, right? We still showed up like a bit earlier, like probably an hour or so earlier to like check out the other artists and stuff. But I ended up getting pretty drunk.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that with an honest face. There's some things I don't remember, and there's some things that I probably won't forget. But no, either way, it was a good show. There was actually a few good artists. There was this guy. I was gonna say his wife. I don't know if they were married. I didn't ask, but it was a guy and a girl. So I just was wrong to assume that they were married. But they were pretty good. She did some singing stuff, and then he did some rapping stuff. There was one song kind of reminded me of like an Eminem song, where he like spit some fairly like serious shit,
right?
But also that very like quick flow. And then when she came in, it was very like it was just like a fucking Eminem song, like it's Eminem.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. And then yeah, like I said, I got pretty drunk. There was a guy there. He goes, I was waiting by the bar. There's like the bar and the washroom right beside each other. So I was kind of just waiting there, like aimlessly. And this guy comes over to me. He bumps me from behind. He's like, "Hey." I turn around. I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "You're ever tall, eh?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm pretty tall. Yeah, man. Thanks." And he's like, "Oh, man, like you're really tall." I'm like, "Yeah, man. Yeah, fucking right." And he's like, "What are you drinking, man?" I was like, what? I'm like, gin and tonic. He's like, oh, he's like, gotta have a double.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I think he might even said something like, oh yeah, like tall guy, like you need the double or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he bought me a drink just based on the fact that I was tall.
That's awesome.
I had to give my ID to get extra strength Advil last night too.
No way.
What? Really?
Yeah, man. I had to give my ID today at a different store, same company, but different like location.
Right.
And I had to give it for a leave today.
No way. What?
Yeah, man. And it
Maybe
wasn't
that's
even
the way
like
it is in Quebec, maybe.
I think so, because they were like, I asked the lady, I was like, yo, I have a question though. I'm like, why do you keep this stuff back here? Like, there's a sign for it up front, and then you have to like go ask them for it. Like, why do you keep this back here? And she's like, I don't know. Like, she's like, I think it's just like so you don't mix stuff like this. You're not supposed to mix with meds and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And like, I thought maybe there's just people like out here using it to get high or something. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how could you ever get high off this? But yeah, because you think if they're hiding it behind the shelf, there must be some kind of narcotic
issue going on.
Or yeah.
For sure.
But like I said, the Aleve too, and the Aleve's only like it's gonna come, I promise. Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah. It's like
yeah. So I mean,
ibuprofen, I guess.
Well, but the ibuprofen has both the anti-inflammatory and the painkiller in it.
Right.
Whereas Aleve is just the sodium whatever that is just anti-inflammatory. Yeah.
Inflammation. Right. Okay. That's crazy.
So it's weird. That's even weirder because it's like, like there's a way for you to get high off this thing.
Yeah, right. You would think anyway.
You can cook it up and mix it with other chemicals and probably still wouldn't get you high.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, but no, it was cool though. We went to the show and like I said, we got pretty drunk. It was like I did. I don't mean to speak for all of us, but they performed really well too. We've seen Bully perform once before at that thing, but we didn't even know it was him, and we didn't, take note.
Yeah.
But then, and I think I may have seen Flox perform once before, but like long time ago.
Right.
And when I saw them at the Rockland show, I was like, holy shit, man! Like they were even like, oh, we didn't rehearse or anything, we just like listened to the songs and shit. But they came out like as if they had it all planned, like like it was like choreographed almost,
Right.
But so then the same thing last night. They came out with like the exact same thing and just giving it hard.
They have good chemistry for sure. Like when they're together, you can tell that they're, they have that connection. They just feed off one another and yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they even like think they know what each other are gonna do. Like I said, man, they said they didn't really
rehearse or anything.
Rehearse, but like I said, there was parts where it was like maybe like little back and forth or like whatever.
Yeah.
But it was all I can't remember. I know that there's like a lot of funny stuff that happened, and I can't remember. I do know that there was this girl, and she asked us for cigarettes, and then she stayed and hung out with us outside of our Airbnb for a while. But she just like sat on the ground with us and like sat there, and we were smoking and stuff. But I was like, the whole time I'm sitting there going, this girl's homeless.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, this fucking girl's homeless. I mean, I teach their own or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not teach their own, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not judging her, but I was just sitting there thinking that this girl has nowhere better to go at like 1 a.m. or whatever it was. And like she's come and found people with cigarettes and joints, and she kind of like sat with us.
Right.
So I was like, I think she's homeless, but we have now gotten the impression that maybe she's not homeless. So several Instagram followers. Yeah, she has a lot of Instagram followers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna go find her tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, make her famous.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't know.
Jumping back to just like the Aleve talk there, like narcotics and drugs or whatever. You guys hear what British Columbia is doing?
Yeah, man.
Legalizing small amounts of, what is it? Illicit drugs?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
just
the
like
right-
cocaine,
Yeah.
like mushrooms and stuff like
like
that.
small, yeah, up to like 4.5.
Even
grams,
meth
I
was
think.
on the list. I was like
I think
surprised
meth
by
was
that.
on the list.
I
Yeah.
was definitely surprised by
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah, but you know what though is like they have this in Spain, I think.
I think
Spain
in a few
never
European countries, like Sweden, even I
well,
think.
but like Spain like never. I believe they never made their drugs like controlled
Illegal.
substances.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So then they've just lived with this like thing, right?
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It may have been a decision they made, but I always thought that it was just like that. Like they never changed anything.
I think
Right.
it's
But they
Portugal.
Portugal.
Oh, Portugal, yeah. Sorry, that's right. Because and now that you say that, I know because I'm like, yeah, that's right. Because Andrew's buddy's from Portugal, my brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But so how that relates is it just when they say a small dose too, though, or not small dose. They say the small amounts or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I forget what it is in Portugal, but it's like for personal use, and apparently it's like a fairly small amount. Like if it was cocaine, it'd be like a couple lines or something like that. Like I don't think it's like I don't think it's like you
obviously
can.
not dealing it. You know, it's like on you.
Yeah.
I think it was 2.5 grams in BC.
Okay.
Yeah, of cocaine.
It's what?
2.5 grams.
Holy fuck!
That's what I said.
Good night for personal use.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah,
Shit.
crazy though.
But yeah, no, and
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I guess the idea of implementing it, they say other countries have less issues. I think with the drugs, or there's less use or something. I don't know, but there'll no doubt be. I don't know.
It like when you pass laws, it just makes more people criminals, right?
Yeah,
you're
it doesn't
not
wreck
fixing
someone's life.
You're not fixing a problem by saying, "Oh, you're just like going to jail or whatever."
Yeah, right.
Right. So like by decriminalizing it and like offering like help or like other solutions or
wrecking people's lives.
Exactly. I think it's a better way to do things for sure. And if you're gonna use it, there's already laws in place. Sorry to keep my rant going, but there's already laws in place that if you let's say for argument's sake, you go and do a couple of lines and you can sit on your couch or you can go and do whatever and not cause any fucking havoc to anyone.
But
you know
harm
what I mean?
you?
Exactly.
Other than to yourself, right?
There's already laws in place that if you go and drive your car and you crash it while you're high, then
yeah, right.
Or if you rob someone because you need money or like, you know what I mean? Like all those things.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Already laws that exist. So like, if you could be a law-abiding citizen while still being high, then what's the fucking harm?
Yeah.
Or even being in possession. Yeah.
No, exactly, and that's just it, right? And I think part of it too, because I watched a thing that was like specifically about Portugal and like what if we like adopted their type of shit, and like this one dude, he's like a drug counselor. He was even saying he's like I used to be an addict, and he's like now I'm a drug counselor or whatever, right? He's like I was addicted to Facebook.
Addicted to
Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
But they consider Facebook a drug, and
no doubt.
And like, so you can actually go to the counselor and be like, I need to get off this drug, Facebook.
I need to get off Facebook.
But they even say too that it's like, I guess it's part of it is like, it's illegal, right? So it's like, ooh, like what's this thing? You know, it's a bit of a lure to it. Right. But then the other thing is like if like don't get me wrong, there's still going to be this garbage anyways. But I mean, like you might stray away from a little bit of that, like like trap house and like bathtub drugs and shit like that. You know,
for sure.
I was also just thinking space in prisons as well, in jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
you save so much money.
Yeah.
Because especially in the States, they and they do this in Canada too, but it's different because in the States their jails are run privately, like you could, or they're owned privately.
Yeah.
So you could just own a jail and do whatever the fuck you want. You have to like be within some guidelines.
Yeah,
but you can kind of do whatever you want.
Right.
And then same thing with in Canada, except it's government run. But so how it all works too though is like it's the same as like owning a business where you're a roofer or you're like whatever, right? You're basically providing a service for people at a cost. So when the government says, okay, how many people do we have locked up this year or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, fucking this many people, this at this price per person per year, and then prorated on smaller amounts of time, right? But these are big prisons, right? So it's longer time. But point is so now your say it costs them like $100,000. I'm just making up numbers, but say it costs them $100,000 to feed and clothe and fucking house this person. They're charging the country fucking $1 million or like $500,000 or whatever, right? So then they're making bank off of it. But then they do that the same with Canada, because it's not that someone's ripping off the government, it's the government ripping off us basically, because they're like, oh, we need this budget for jails because it costs this much to jail a person or whatever, right? But so all I'm saying is it would definitely cut a lot of costs down.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, especially in the States, there's a huge population of weed possessions in the American jails.
Right.
Or like
so it would do away with that.
Could you guys imagine your whole life being taken away because of like a gram of weed?
No, man, that's insane.
Oh,
that's
dude,
literally insanity.
Dude, they have certain states have. It's called the three strikes law.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of this.
And there was this guy. I mean, there's three sides to every story, but there was this guy. He got busted. I think he was selling coke. Like it was, or I don't know if he was selling it, but he had a lot of it, I think.
Yeah.
Then he went to jail for a while. I guess because it was his first offense, he got like a little lighter sentence or something. Right. So he went, and his second time he like smaller amount of cocaine or whatever, right? But then like his third time that got him put in jail was he had like a few joints of weed.
Right.
And then they not only put him in jail forever, like here you're getting life in prison, but I'm pretty sure they were trying to what do you call it? They send them to a different country or whatever, or back to their country.
Like extradite?
Deported them.
Yeah.
No, deported.
Deported,
yeah.
Yeah. But that's right though. If another country came and got you from your country, it would be extradited.
Okay.
But it's the other way. This country's sending you back to your country. But no, they did that, and so it's like, okay, man, like I get it, he's a repeat offender, right? But you can see that it was like, okay, he went from like having a big bag of blow to sell to like having a little bag of blow to fucking maybe do, or maybe he was just running out or whatever. But then now in the end, his third thing was like a couple joints of weed, and it's like, okay, man, like at least now, like it's like, okay, yeah, you're getting fucking life in prison. It's like, well, at least now you can be like, hey, man, okay, you didn't get caught with like a gun and more drugs. You just got caught with some weed. Like it's different, you know. But because it's three strikes, you've been charged for these things, and it doesn't even have to be the same thing. Right. It can just be even Nevada, I think it is. Is that where Vegas is?
Yeah.
Nevada says there's a sign, and it's like a hand holding cards or whatever, and one of the cards is like it has a J on it, and then there's like a marijuana leaf on it, and it's like playing with marijuana is like playing with your life, and like they're suggesting that you can get life in prison for marijuana or whatever. But like again, it would take a few strikes or however it works, but it's just that blows me away, because it's like, man, like okay, like yeah, you murdered a dude, yeah, like or whatever, right? Okay, you went to jail for a while, you got out, and you fucking, I don't know, just assaulted some dude or something, right? Or even just got caught with some kind of drug. Yeah. And then your third time, it's like you like stole a chocolate bar, or you like had to beat somebody up because of like, you know, to save your own life, but it didn't look that way. And it's like, oh, you're going to jail forever, man. Yeah. And it's like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It's gone.
Yeah,
but I like the idea of sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying the entire justice system is kind of fucked
It's
up.
almost
but...
like
oh yeah,
that system's like raising a child. You know what I mean? 3 strikes and you're out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you know, it doesn't matter what it is. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go to your room forever.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of decriminalizing things because, like, I can see that it can change a lot of stuff in different ways. But just a kind of funny thing is, when I heard about the Portugal thing originally, I was like, they're like, oh yeah, like their crime is like way lower than ours and all this and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because there's no crime for possession anymore. You're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all the people that were in jail for possession aren't getting put in jail anymore, you know? So I'm like, oh, that's why their crime's down.
Yeah.
But they actually named and proved other things, like, you know, like robberies and like certain shit, right?
Yeah.
It can also change the price of the drugs too, right?
Do you think it'd make it less or more?
I think it would make it cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah.
Because
it's not such a heat thing.
Yeah, more accessible. It's easy to.
Right.
It's less, like less. What's the called?
Risk.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, but at the same time, there's still the same risk to that guy that's holding a whole bunch of it.
That's it. Yeah.
But
exactly.
but at the same time, if I just want to get a little piece, I have no risk. You know what I mean? Like there's no risk for me.
Yeah.
But do you think though that could possibly cause people to fucking start doing drugs?
I think it takes, like you said, the allure away from, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like kids nowadays, I think they're like, oh, it's just that thing that you can get from the store. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's not like as cool anymore because like your grandma smokes it for her glaucoma and shit. You know? Like,
well, and that's why I asked that question too, is because I was thinking about this recently, even like with the weed or the cannabis or whatever, right? People, I remember my dad saying too, like, oh, everyone is acting like, oh, like people are gonna like start smoking weed now because it's legal or whatever, right? And he's like, I don't see how that would make sense because he's like, these people, they were either gonna smoke weed or not, either way, right?
Yeah.
But then the thing is ever since all this happened, I've found like people, like my buddy's mom, she smokes like a pen and she eats edibles, but like she said she like might have smoked some weed whenever she was younger, but like never really got into it. Right. Now she's like fucking 50 or some shit and she's like smoking again or is smoking. But then she got like the neighbors like at the end of the street and shit, like they live at the end of a little like cul-de-sac thing. She got like some of the neighbors out there like smoking weed and eating edibles and stuff, right? And they're like older, like wine drinking moms and shit. And so I see it sometimes. I'm like, oh, you know what though? Like it seems like, or you see like that younger kid in the store or something. He's like, I don't know, I just want the weed. Like, what do you say? You know? And it's like, okay, like that guy totally just came in here, like not today, but I mean, he came in here based on the fact that it's legal now or something, you know?
Yeah, for sure, you can tell.
It's a good thing though. I'd rather have like a nation of like fucking stoners and chill people than a bunch of drunks and fucking opiate users.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, for sure.
So.
For sure. But I just mean like in the sense. I just mean now that they're gonna make other drugs legal, then it's like, what if that starts to happen that way too, where they're like, okay, well it's all right to do it. Well, like I'll try some of the cocaine here or like whatever, you know.
I feel like it would only make, if anything, I feel like it'd make the bad worse, but not necessarily start anew, if you get what I'm saying. Like people that are already doing it might get worse, but people that aren't into it might not end up into it.
Like the people like, stigma. It would enable.
Yeah,
it would enable the people already doing it, but it wouldn't so much bring people around. I mean, it might be different if they open up a store and start selling cocaine.
Right. Yeah, but it's like,
you know, or whatever.
It's if people are going to do it, they're going to do it.
If that was a thing, like honestly, if there was a fucking cocaine store that opened up like next week and I could like walk into a store and have like a selection of a bunch of different like kinds of fucking coke, like I don't think I would just go in and try it.
Indulge,
I don't think I would start anew.
Well, no, and that's just it, especially something like, sorry, I'm just going to come back quick. So yeah, so especially something like that, like or any of the like higher up drugs than weed or hash or whatever. I feel like any of them, like you said, like it's not really gonna bring other people around. Like, oh yeah, like all of a sudden I want to do this cocaine thing. Like if you were gonna do it
I think there's
before,
only
you're gonna do it.
one, and it's mushrooms.
Yeah.
I think
true.
people could end up getting into mushrooms just like the weed for sure.
But see, even too, like, sorry, one sec, real quick. Even too, I'm just grabbing a drink. Out west, they have those mushroom dispensaries, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then the other thing too is my buddy was telling me before I went out there. He was telling me that they have like these days, and actually ever since he told me about it and he showed me pictures and stuff, after that I ended up finding this documentary on this girl. She started this program, but okay, yeah. So my buddy sent me these pictures, and he was saying like they do this thing every once in a while where I'm not sure if it's like what's the store or whatever, like, or if it's a clinic or whatever. But at this certain place, they do this thing every once in a while, and it's just like a fucking free drug giveaway. But you go there, and the reason why it's out, like, is why like they do it is because it's clean drugs. Sorry, it's clean drugs. So it saves people from maybe buying fake pills or buying something off the street that they don't know what the fuck it is. It's like a clean shoot up place, but for buying drugs or for like getting drugs, right? So it's a guy, right? Like, and anyway, so buddy showed me pictures, man. He had a thing. It looked like a pack of cigarettes. It had like the older ones, like now they have like the pictures on them. The older ones just had like the banner across the top with the black and white writing. It was like white background with black writing. It was like one of those, and it says like warning, all this stuff, whatever. It looks like a little half pack of smoke. The warning, this and that, whatever. And it says 100% cocaine. And then they had another one, and it's like 40%, or no, it's 60-40, but I can't remember which one. Like, so I think it was like 40% caffeine and 60% heroin.
Holy fuck! So it keeps it's like right.
Well, they're just using the caffeine to cut it, right? Because you need. I guess I'm sorry, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that you need something else in it, because otherwise, because these people too, like, this is like science, they're like labs, like making this shit or whatever to make sure it's like good. So I imagine they would do the right thing. But the thing is so like I said, when I watched the documentary on it, it showed this girl. What she did was she would take money. I don't know where she was getting her money, but she would take money and she would go out and buy like $100,000 worth of drugs or some shit, and she would test them all. And she would test, like, take a bag and test a bunch of shit out of it, and not just like one little test. She'd go through it all and she'd get all this fucking like good dope or whatever, like clean shit. She'd bag it all up and she would just go out with like these bags and like give them out to people, right?
Oh wow.
But now it's gotten so big that it's like, I guess the government stepped in and was like, hey, we'll get actual people to make the drugs, and like, we'll fund it or whatever, and we'll put it in these nice little packages and shit. But yeah, I guess what he said, whenever they do it, they have a huge lineup fucking down the street and shit. And people sit there. You can get, it's not just coke and heroin, you can get other shit too, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was like, that's crazy, right? But the thing is I remember bringing up at that time being like, well, man, like, you don't think like, maybe some dude might show up and be like, you know what? I want to try this cocaine, and they're giving it away here.
Right.
And it's lab tested or whatever. Like, yeah, I would do it. So, I mean, like, in that sense, like, maybe. But even then, like, at the same time, like Buddy said, like, and same narrative as what we're saying is like, if you're gonna do it now, you probably would have already done it.
Yeah.
So like, if you're going to get that, it's not because you just decided to say, oh, I'm gonna fucking go do that, because it's not like smoking a fucking doob or something,
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree.
Well, I think it would help out there though, because like making stuff legal or whatever, or decriminalized or whatever.
Pretty big issue, eh? Definitely a lot of people on the streets doing drugs out there. Well, it's everywhere in every major city, but Vancouver's pretty bad.
It's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the East Hastings is like fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you have a sore tooth?
Well,
like what was that about?
Oh yeah, man. I don't know if you guys can see it through the camera. No, maybe not. But like this side of my face is like fucking swollen right out like this, like even down to here.
I can see the bulge now. Yeah.
Like even when I smile, like see.
Yeah, I see.
But see this one, this is my normal smile line.
Yeah.
And this one, there's no fucking smile line. It's not broken here because it's just.
It's fucking I would have never noticed. So what happened? Is it you're just like a tooth?
I got a like impact tooth or maybe abscess tooth.
Oh damn! Fuck.
I had it like man at the start of the year. It happened, and I was like, oh yeah. I just took like a couple pills and stuff, and like it went away after a little bit. Yeah. It wasn't really bad. It just sort of hurt, you know. But about like 2 months ago or so, it fucking did this. But it did it to the point, man, where it was like this, where I could see my cheek out like in the bottom of my eye. I thought my eye was closing, man. It was that big.
Yeah.
And it was bulged out like that. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And I could go like this, man, and there was like a ball like in my fucking thing. But it was just because of all the swelling and shit. Right. But like I won't do it, but if like right up here and where my gums, like where your like lip goes up and it meets your gums, right there, man, there's a thing that's like probably about fucking 3/4 of an inch long and about 1/2 inch wide. And it's just a huge bulge, like just a big pocket of fucking. It's probably a pocket of infection, is what it is.
Yeah, so that sounds like an abscess tooth.
Yeah,
so
man.
I had the same thing, and it was exactly that. It was like a big, what felt like a fucking golf ball, like on my gum.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? And So I was in Belize too, and when I had this,
yeah.
I had there for a long time.
You have some bad luck when you travel, eh?
Yeah. And so I went to, they gave me like, I went to see a dentist in Belize.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it was super cheap, like fucking just ridiculous cheap.
Right.
So like, they're like, yeah, we can do the surgery here, and either take the tooth out or like do a root canal. And I'm like, I don't fucking trust this back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This
having
isn't
it done there,
dude,
yeah.
like this is like a third world country almost, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not a place you want to get dental work done. So I'm like, yeah, no, just give me the fucking antibiotics. Yeah. So I got super duper cheap fucking antibiotics.
Nice.
That like here probably would have cost me like maybe like $70, $80, $100. Fuck, I don't even know. But there it was like maybe $5.
Nice.
Yeah.
For like a bottle.
Yeah, it was just like dirt cheap. So yeah, I've been through that same thing. I don't think my face swelled up quite as much, but
dude,
definitely I have that like that big thing on your gum and like
fuck. Mouth pain's some of the worst pain, man. And I've thankfully never really had any issues there.
That was the thing though. I never got that like painful for me. Like it was just
me neither.
Yeah, it was just like there's something fucked up, so you go get it checked out because that is essentially that is poison that's building up in your gums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But man, the thing is, I have such a good immune system, man. I got rid of it twice. I'm gonna go and like this time I'm gonna get it checked because it's happened 3 times within 6 months. So I'm like, hey, it's gotta go. And this tooth where the
tooth
where it's above,
like the root canal and the tooth.
No, but the tooth is broken. That's what I'm saying. Is the tooth's broken?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But and then like even too like you're saying with the pain, like so many people. I remember I had my first back spasm, and my buddy was like, "Oh yeah, man, I had a back spasm too." So then I knew like he broke a lot of the same bones I did and shit like that. So I'm like, "Hey man," and I was convinced that my back spasm was the worst pain that I ever had and will ever fucking meet.
Yeah.
He goes, I said, "What's the worst pain you ever had?" Because I'm like, he's had all the same injuries. He goes, "Probably my wisdom teeth, man." And I was like, "No fucking way." And I was like, "Man, that's the worst thing I could hear right now is because I need to get my wisdom teeth out soon."
Yeah,
So like, fuck, man. And then my teeth ended up getting all fucked up. Like one of them broke, and it was like I remember, man, it was so painful. Like I ate a piece of bacon one time in the restaurant, and I guess it turned sideways and like stabbed up into my tooth, like where it was broken off. And I just went like this, man. I pushed my plate away, and I just put my head down, and I sat there, and I was just like, man, like you know when you're like mouth watering, like you're gonna puke and shit.
Yeah.
It was just like that. Like I was like, oh man, and I didn't care, man, if I just puked right into my lap because I was like, this fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I know what he's talking about. But this right here, man, like even Bully the other day goes, man, he's like, you want? I got like some fucking Orajel shit, right? And I was like, man, but like my tooth doesn't hurt, man. It's not my tooth. It's like all up in here. And like this time, like, or sorry, last time it happened when it got real fat like this, it was almost like when I would move my finger around, there was a certain point when I hit that point, I could feel the like pain go right down through my tooth. But then, like this time, like man, when I push on it and shit, it's almost, it literally just feels like I have a bruise on my face. Like it's not my teeth, it's not even really my gums. It's like up in the fucking like just past, like I don't know. But so it's weird because it's like I was like, man, I'm expecting like, oh, this is gonna get a whole lot worse.
Right.
But it's not as bad as I thought it would be. But I mean, today though, I was driving around and I was like, I started to get short tempered and shit whenever I'm like in pain and shit.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the truth comes out. But it's just like, yeah, man, someone crossed in front of me, like, get the fuck out of my way. And I'm just like, oh, fuck this. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, man. I'm like, it must be hurting a little bit because I'm like fucking grumpy with people and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, man. Shit.
Get that shit checked out, man.
I still
No,
have
like I said,
my
this
wisdom teeth. You have yours? You said you have to get yours taken.
I have. I never had them taken out yet.
Yeah.
But my top two are gone.
They just fell out.
They're completely gone yet.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Shit. Yeah,
But
I've been fortunate.
I went to the dentist.
Yeah.
So I went to the dentist in 2001, February, I think.
That was more than 20 years ago.
No. Listen, then the next time I went to the dentist was, I had this like pain all on my teeth and shit, and my bottom teeth were like all like kind of crowding together and shit. And I was like, man, I'm like, that's why they hurt, because they're crowding together. And like this wisdom tooth on the bottom back here is growing like straight towards the other teeth. So I'm like, that's what it is. It's fucking pushing all together. But man, all my teeth would hurt, like my face would hurt and shit. And I went to the dentist and he's like, man, there's nothing wrong with your teeth. And I was like, what the fuck? And he goes, it's a sinus infection. And because I was doing concrete at the time. And fucking, I had to actually like mix the concrete myself. And that's the only thing I could think of is that it fucking like stuck in my nose or something.
Ooh,
but
right.
But then yeah, I went to my dentist and he goes, hey, just go to your doctor and he'll give you these pills. So I took these pills and it went away. And like when I look down like this, I feel it like pounding in my face. And he said the reason why all your teeth hurt is because like, have you ever seen a skull where there's like these little like pockets here in the skull?
Yeah.
And those are called your sinus cavity.
Right.
And they will like build up with fluid. If your sinuses get blocked or something, they'll build up with fluid. And when you turn your head like this, it fucking pulls this like a reverse pressure on your teeth. So now all your fucking teeth are aching because it's almost like there's like something like sucking on the other end of it a little bit because it's just that fluid moving forward, right? So I thought that's what this was maybe. So I'm like, yeah, it kind of hurts my teeth, but it hurts like my face. And but yeah, no. So like I said, whenever I went to the doctor, I went there, the dentist. I went there and I was sitting in the chair, and I looked over and they keep your like X-rays from like forever, right? And so I'm like, when's the last time I was here? And I looked, and it was 2001 February, and this was October 2011. So it's 10 years later.
10 years, yeah.
And he said, he goes, everything's fine with your teeth, whatever, go get these pills for your sinus infection. But he's like, in the next like 6 months of the year, you might want to get your wisdom teeth out. I'm like, okay, cool. Man, I kid you not, man, like a week later, man, I thought I had a piece of fucking popcorn in my tooth.
Oh, yeah.
I kept picking at it, and I found it was a hole in my fucking tooth. like under the gum.
Yeah.
So what the fuck, man? Then like all of a sudden, man, like I would just be eating and like a little piece of break off. I'm like, oh, pull it out. And it'd be like, but it was over like a year or more, right? Little piece, little piece. Then all of a sudden, man, there'd be like the majority of the tooth left. And one day, man, I would just flick it with my tongue and it's like, and it would fall out, right? And so I didn't do any work to get them out. They just literally kind of like fell out, right?
Right.
But your wisdom teeth are very susceptible to rotting, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so they ended up falling out. I've had no issues with my teeth other than this, and it's like literally from a broken fucking tooth. So like, I get it, but I've never had any other issues with my teeth and shit. And I'm like, man, maybe I didn't even need to get my wisdom teeth out. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Damn, that's rough shit.
Yeah, man, I hate it.
Mouth pain's got to be some of the worst pain you could endure.
It really is.
Yeah, well, and like I said, man, I'm so surprised because like the 3 times I've had this fucking tooth thing or that it's inflamed up or whatever, today was probably the worst I've had it out of all 3 times. And like even then, like I was still going through my day, driving around and doing stuff.
Yeah.
But it would get to the point where I'd have to like and like suck it up for a minute. But either way, it's just I feel like this has, out of all my mouth pains, this has been like the least of my worries.
Yeah, right. But the most pain?
No, but that's what I mean is it hasn't been very painful.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because I've heard so many people talking about, even Bully said he had an abscess tooth. And he said like, he was like, man, it felt really bad, man. He's like, I would have my kids and shit on the weekend. And he's like, I would be like, just useless because he's like, man, he's like, I can't do anything. He's like, I'm just like such bad pain and shit. He's like, yeah, man, I felt bad, whatever. And he ended up going to the dentist, and he said, man, like he said his wasn't swollen like this either, but it was like there was like a pocket in there. But he said when they pulled the tooth out, it was literally like, and it was like a relief of pressure, and it just everything went away.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh man, yeah, I'm like, I want that, man. Give me that one.
Yeah.
I even thought about poking this fucking ball to see if I could fucking, pop it and get the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, my buddy told me, I don't know if it was an abscess tooth or not, but my buddy told me he had a thing like this in his gums one time, and they told him not to, or they told him like he went to get it checked, and then they told him, they're like, man, if you would have, well, it scared the shit out of me. But the dentist said, he goes, man, if that sac though had bursted open or whatever, it can like poison you.
Yeah.
And I guess it like tastes really, really bad. But the weird thing is, man, is the last time I had, I don't know, actually before this even happened, before this started, like a couple days ago, I was like sitting there and I was like, I taste fucking chemicals or something in my mouth. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But like I said, this wasn't there at the time. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So then now 2 days later, I'm like, man, what the fuck? My face hurts. I'm like, oh, wonder if those are the chemicals I was tasting, like, oh shit.
Yeah, shit, man.
That's one thing I think should be like covered under healthcare is like dental shit. It's so fucking expensive, man. Like a root canal is like a fucking $1,000.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
But root canals are the fucking biggest scam in the world, though. Because scam in the world.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not a dentist, so I can't say this actually, but I do know from evidence that pretty much everyone I know that's gotten a root canal eventually had to like go back and get the tooth pulled out.
Oh yeah.
So like,
what's the
fucking
just pull it out and start.
Well, exactly, yeah. So like even too, I don't know who said this. I almost want to say that it was a dentist, like a friend of somebody's who's a dentist or something. Or it might have been my cousin. She's like a fucking like a hygienist or whatever. She's not like an actual dentist. She like puts the fucking fluoride in your teeth. But anyway,
yeah.
Well, either way, regardless, someone said this from someone else's like profession or whatever, and they said that I lost my train of thought. They said that. Oh yeah, they said if they ask you to get a root canal, just say I want the tooth taken out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just save all the fucking bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Because you gotta like Jonesy said, it's like what, like over $1,000 to get the fucking thing drilled into, and then whatever, might be a week, might be 3 years. And I gotta get the fucking thing pulled out, you know? It's like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. What was the use? Waste
But
of money.
I definitely think it should be covered because, like,
Yeah.
well, even like this situation, like, I don't know, even like, I don't know, Bully was saying that it's not very much to get your tooth pulled. So I'm like, I don't really give a fuck. But even then, you get people that are like, oh man, say even my wisdom teeth, you gotta like, it's a couple grand, you get your wisdom teeth out. And if you want that fucking, the magic syrup, it's way more, right? So like, shit like that, I feel like even if it was just like some stuff was covered or whatever, I feel like it would be a bit better. But
That would be
they
help.
they say like um so dentistry is the only thing that's not covered by the government, right? And you have to actually pay for it out of your pocket.
Right.
And it says something like nine out of 10 dentists suggest to use this like toothpaste or this toothbrush or whatever, right? It's like, are you really going to trust the people who make money off your teeth?
Yeah.
Or off of you having bad teeth? You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, yeah, shit, man, that's true. They're like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, it's like mechanics, like, oh, you need a new one, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what did I see the other day? A guy took his car to go get an oil change or something. And I think it was just like a like making fun of them joke or whatever. But the guy goes to get his oil change and they're like, oh man, see this right here, and they're like naming all these parts and shit. Like, yo, you got to get a new one.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, we gotta rebuild this, or we gotta do that, like whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be this much. He's like, I brought my fucking car in for an oil change, man.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
the fuck, you know? Like, they change the fucking oil, don't touch anything else, man.
For sure. Business.
Have you guys listened to any of the Kendrick Lamar album?
Yeah, I have. You?
Okay, yeah. No, I haven't.
No, eh?
But I heard somebody the other day, Linda's son.
Linda's son?
Yeah, he's from Ottawa.
Okay.
I was at Timeless Cuts. Shout out Timeless Cuts, baby. But I was there getting my hair did, and we were talking and shit. And he was playing some music, and all of a sudden, man, well, he goes, I forget who it was, but he goes, oh, this guy's from Ottawa, whatever. He tells me about it. I'm like, cool, yeah. But then, like, this song comes on, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, man, this goes pretty hard. Like, yeah, this goes pretty good. Like, yeah, sweet. And I was like, I recognize that voice. Whose voice is that? I'm like, yo, it sounds like Kendrick, man. I'm like, yo, dude. I'm like, is this that new Kendrick shit? And he's like, no, this is fucking Linda's son. And I was like, I recognize that name. And he's like, he's from Ottawa. I was like, oh shit, man, yeah. But yeah, man, he actually sounded like fucking Kendrick. So I was like, that's sick.
Well, I'll have to get him on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it's a pretty good album though.
Okay. I heard that it was sick though, yeah.
I think the most popular song off it's called Silent Hill with Kodak Black.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm stressed.
Is it anything about the game?
Sorry?
Is it anything about the game? Silent Hill?
No.
Yeah.
The rapper, you mean?
No, the game.
What?
Like,
The game, the rapper?
the game Silent Hill.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
was in my
yeah,
head for
yeah.
sure. And I've
No, sorry.
even...
Once you. No, go ahead.
No, I when I was listening to the song, I even thought of the game too. I was like, oh, Silent Hill.
No, okay, yeah. It's funny because you like the game, the rapper, and once you said that, I was like, I know who he is, but I completely forget what we were just talking about.
Kendrick's album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Silent Hill.
What about Jack Harlow? You check out his new album?
I actually haven't, but Buddy he said he was playing a playlist of like Ottawa artists, but then a little while later he's like, this song came on and I was like, yo, it sounds like a Jack Harlow song I haven't heard before, and so I'm just listening to it, and then Buddy's like, yo, he's like, you fuck this guy. I'm like, who is it? Because now I think it's a trick question. Like,
Yeah.
the last guy sounded like Kendrick, and he's from Ottawa, and he said it was an Ottawa playlist. I'm like, yo, who is this? He's like, dude, it's fucking Jack Harlow, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's blowing up big right now.
Well, yeah, and he ended up playing like two, maybe three. I think it was two of his songs or something. But I was like, shit. Not only have I not heard these, but like, actually pretty fucking fire.
Yeah, he's pretty good for sure. And all of his features on the album are huge. There's only like 4 or 5, but he got Drake, Pharrell Williams, Justin Timberlake, and I'm blanking on the other ones.
There's only,
but either way,
there's only limited features, you say?
Yeah, well, no, he only had like 4 or 5 features on the album.
That's what I mean. There's only a couple on it.
Yeah, and they're all
they're
big.
like,
they're all huge.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it sounds like they're all fucking big anyway.
Yeah.
But see, like, what do you think is better, like a better plan? What do you think is a better plan? Like, because I've seen people come out with albums that have no features on it, and they've even said, I'm fucking making this fucking album with no features or whatever, right? Like, I can't remember who did it recently, but it was like a big artist. And like, yeah, I'm not doing any fucking features. But then, like, you'll see some people that put out an album and stuff, fucking every song has a feature. Some of them might have 2 features, you know?
Yeah.
Or a couple features with a bunch, like with big names, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you know, like, so I see it all different ways, but like, what do you think would be the best way to do that, you know? Or like, what would be the way that you would want to do it?
Yeah, the way I would want to do it is like a few features, but like solid features, and then the rest just me. I think, in my opinion, that's the best way. The ones with like a bunch of features, I look at those as like more like mixtape, kind of like, you know what I mean? Throw them together with I feel like there's like select artists that do that, like Wiz Khalifa and like I don't know, Lil Wayne for sure. Lil Wayne was like held the record for being the most featured artist at one point in time, I believe. Yeah, and
he was the most featured, or he had the most featured.
He was the most featured on other people's songs,
for sure.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, I think more your work and just a few solid features.
Yeah, and that's it. Is like I feel like just real quick on the. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to touch on the Lil Wayne being a like most featured artist.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a point where actually I liked Lil Wayne's features better than his music.
Right. Yeah, he almost put more effort into his features than
But the other thing I was going to say on the topic of that, like the question that I asked is like, I guess it's also too there's a kind of a time and a place, right? So it's like I'm a up and coming artist or whatever, maybe like trying to put on for my city. So I'm going to try and get a bunch of like big artists from the city and maybe like a couple like big names, you know? So it's like, oh yeah, every song has a feature or whatever, right? But that might be a thing where it's like, yo, I'm so big at this point, I just want everyone to hear me, you know? And it's like no features. Yeah. But then there's like, I'm so big, fucking, I can put 4 features on this shit and it cost me fucking $30 million or whatever, you know? Like,
yeah, for sure. It's almost like a situation for each attack, you know what I mean, or like each method, I guess you could say.
Well, yeah, definitely a time and a place, but I think I guess it's hard to say. I was gonna say if I had to choose, but then I was like, yeah, if I had to choose, it would be depending where in my career I was choosing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Like, I think if you're like a brand new artist, like to get like some massive features, if you're able to, like a lot of people would be like, oh, they carried you or they made you who you were because like you're only big because you wrote a song. True. So like if you did it all by yourself, you get maybe a little bit more credibility or like respect because of that.
I feel.
But at the same time, like like
the features could help as well.
Exactly. So like. But if you're already established and you're like just looking for other people to work with, then I guess it's fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that makes sense too, because it's like even if say you're starting off and you do put a whole bunch of features, put a bunch of features from your town or your city or whatever, but then you do have like that one like Kanye feature or something. It's like, whoa, hey man, like slow the fuck down, you know, like
too big for this album.
Wait till your third album.
Yeah.
You know, man, there's places down here though. I'm just saying this because I'm looking at cars, but there's like a lot of really nice cars here.
Yeah.
And like they're like I saw like a Rolls Royce, but I mean like Buddy was saying, he's like he was saying Montreal's not as flashy. Like people aren't trying to like impress people as much like in Toronto where they're like more, you know what I mean? And he was saying big flashy cars, and you can see a lot of Rolls and shit like that, right?
Right.
But here, like I did see a Rolls, but I find the cars that I see aren't like I saw 3 Ferraris today, but they're like the majority of the cars I look at are like sneaky cars, you know what I mean? Like there was like a Porsche Panamera 4-door, but it was like I don't know my Porsches that well, but it was like the good, like the fast one, like the AMG of Porsche.
Yeah.
Fucking so sick, is banging and crackling down the street and shit.
Nice.
But the thing is, I'd look at a car, buddy, and be like, oh, cool, it's an Audi, sweet. And I'm like, but do you know what that is? You know, it's like, oh, that's this car or whatever, you know? So what I'm saying is just like, some people might not even recognize them, like, you know, that's a big ass fucking Rolls Royce or whatever. I gotta show you this though.
Oh yeah, beauty. Orange Porsche.
Yeah, man. Yo, we went to this place today. I was looking for poutine places.
Yeah.
And I had a local show me some shit. I did get a poutine, but we like took the food and went and ate it somewhere else, and I didn't really get a poutine review.
Right.
But it was actually really like what do you call it? The Elgin Street Diner poutine.
Okay.
But no, just because you said the orange, it made me think of this. This fucking restaurant, man, is just like a giant orange. Like it's just a big round fucking ball.
No way.
And like you can't eat inside. It's just like they cook inside. But it's called like it's like, it sounds almost like Orange Julius.
Yeah.
You know Orange Julius? Yeah. So it sounds like Orange Julius, but it's not Orange Julius. And they even serve a drink in there that's like a orange creamsicle like drink.
Okay.
And I'm like, that sounds like Orange Julius. And they're like, no, it's not. And they said the other name, but I was like, oh yeah, no. But no, it was pretty sick though. That's where we saw the fucking first Ferrari of the day. But no, as soon as you said orange, I'm like, oh, it's stuck in my head. I was like, man, I want to take a picture of this, and I didn't take a picture of it. But it's just like, man, you just pull off to the side of the road, and there's just like this fucking big ass fucking ball, big orange ball.
Yeah, that's sick. That's really cool. So you guys are right downtown Montreal?
We were, we were, yes, and we are now too, so.
Yeah, okay.
I guess. I was going to say we were last night, but I guess we are now too, sort of. We were at, the other spot was, it was right near the venue, like it was like a fucking 7-minute walk to the venue or something like that. So we're like clapping downtown.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
I've never actually been downtown Montreal. I've only ever been to the island there that has Olympic Stadium, and the F1 track is there too, and Laval, I believe it is Laval.
Laval, like the Frenchest place in the world.
Yeah. Longueuil.
But I came here whenever I was a kid with my family, but we went to like St. Joseph's Oratory, like a fucking big church or something.
Yeah.
I saw it there today too. It's like, man, you go upstairs, you go up like 300 stairs, just to go up 300 more stairs, just to go up about 70 stairs, to go up another 4 or 5 stairs to get into this building. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. It's way up on this roof or on this hill. But no, so that I came to do that whenever I was a kid, but like I was with my family and my aunts and uncles and shit, or my aunt and uncle and my parents and stuff.
Yeah.
so so like even boys like, yo, you ever been to Montreal? I'm like, man, like yeah, but like we did like family shit. We didn't even really like go out or anything. Like we didn't go do shit.
Yeah.
Um, but then I forgot too. I was here one time. Me and my buddy drove down to Playground Poker Club, and we played a tournament or whatever, and then came home. I ended up cashing in the tournament though. But yeah, no, I just whenever we came for that, I was like, oh yeah, I have been to Montreal as an adult, and I'm like, but it was like we just dipped in, hit the casino or the poker and fucking left. We didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an interesting city, man. Like everyone was like, oh yeah, like go to old Montreal. It's all like really old shit.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it doesn't matter where you are. It's all old shit, you know. But like cool shit too, though. Like it's like the architecture is cool.
Yeah.
Is there like the mall that's like underground? Fuck, I forget the name.
I'm not sure myself.
It's right in Montreal. I was there like a couple years ago.
Okay.
I didn't know if that's where you were though. But yeah, basically
it's underground mall.
Yeah, it's like a mall. Like you can go like through like basically half the fucking street. Like it's just like all underground.
Yeah, that's cool. Damn.
I don't know what it's called.
So they have a fucking place. Tonight? I don't know. Probably not a whole too much. Like we're gonna drink and shit and probably eat some smoked meat.
Nice.
But I don't know. We're actually like this. Whenever we booked this Airbnb, it warned that it was beside a nightclub.
Oh.
And I was like, whatever, I don't care. Because they're warning about the noise, right? I'm like, I don't really care. But then I was like, you know what? Though I'm like, fuck, if we're really bored, we'll just dip over there.
Yeah, I do. Party it out.
Yeah.
Montreal style.
Yeah, man. Montreal
Underground, man.
Underground City Shopping Center.
That's what it's called? Underground City Shopping Center. That's
man,
bad.
Did you know that, like, I guess, like one of the locals here was like, oh yeah, there used to be this place over here, but they tore it down. And I was like, oh yeah? And then they're like, they put up a Ontario Mall.
Ontario.
And I was like, what? And it's just like Ottawa's full of them, you know, like you go into like say like the Centrum type thing, you know?
Yeah.
You go in and there's like a bunch of like little stores and shit. They were talking about like that, like, I'm like, what you call that, like an Ontario Mall? And they're like, well, that's, you guys have those, right? I'm like, yeah, we have them pretty much everywhere. Like, we don't. I was like, and I guess this one that they showed me was like the first one that they had or something, or they like just built it or whatever. And I was like, fuck, I didn't know that. I never knew that it was like a fucking Ontario thing or whatever. Maybe that's just what they say, but.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, no, me neither. So pretty interesting.
Ontario Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought malls were everywhere, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like strip mall kind of things. Like,
yeah.
Or not even strip malls, but like, yeah.
Well, and like I said, I think it's just something they call it that because it's like Ontario is the closest to them that has it. So they're like, oh, it's those malls we see in Ontario.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, can't turn right on a red light.
Yeah. Quebec.
It's so weird, man. I sat there. I was sitting at the light, like I was going straight, so it didn't matter. I had to.
Too. The lights.
What's that?
The lights.
No, not all of them.
Not all of them. Okay.
No, because like man, even some of them, man, are like there'd be like a row of like 6 lights tall, and there's like a left arrow, there's a fucking straight arrow, there's a fucking solid green light, there's a flashing green light. They have this in BC too. You know how like you pull up to a light and you stop because the other way is green, right? The other way turns red. But when it stops, you have a advanced green.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like so on one side of the intersection they'll give you an advanced green.
Yeah.
But
okay.
like in Ottawa, the way they use or the way most people usually like indicate this is like it'll show red, yellow, green, and then there's the arrow underneath to go left. So now they show it like that, and they'll show green and the arrow, and that means that no one else is coming from the other side of the road.
Right.
But here, and now, like I find sometimes that's more like at the end of the light. But here, you get you get it at the start of the light.
Yeah.
So I pulled up to a light and I was waiting to go. I was gonna turn, and it's flashing. I was like, oh man, like there's two guys sitting across the lights, like ready to go. You know, I'm like, I'm not gonna pull out and then have them like pull out on me. You know.
Right, of course.
So I'm waiting, and then all of a sudden I clicked in. I'm like, the reason why they're sitting there is because I have an advanced green, and that's why it's blinking. You know. But I noticed that at BC too. It was like it's blinking. I'm like, yo, what's with the blinking thing? They're like, oh, it's advanced green, or it's like an after fucking green thing.
Yeah.
But I noticed little things like that, or like even the lights are kind of like they're on the other side of the intersection. They're not like on this side of the intersection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We still have some of that shit too, especially in bigger intersections.
Yeah,
but like,
big intersections.
I feel like here it's like everywhere.
Yeah, that's wild, eh? Just the way things.
Yeah, and it's weird too. Like it's it's like not even that far away. Yeah, and like you're not even that far away, but it's like there's like a bunch of different shit.
Yeah.
But even too, I got told I had an accent last night.
Oh shit.
And we're sitting with fucking V, who is like Bulgarian or whatever.
Yeah.
And he has like he doesn't just have an accent; he speaks like fairly poor English.
Yeah.
And so we're all sitting in a room, and this person's like, "Yo, you have an accent or whatever." And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, out of all of us sitting in this room, I have an accent.
Yeah.
And then they clued in. They're like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "This guy right here, yeah." But I've been called on it a few times, and I can see it, I guess.
It is an accent that we have for sure. Because to other people, they sound like normal to them. They don't
Everyone
say
has
that
an
they
accent to
have
someone
an
else.
accent. Yeah. Everyone has an accent to somebody else. Yeah.
Oh no, and totally. But like even too, like, and I mean, I guess I've even gotten it in Canada where someone's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, I'm from 40 minutes from here. And then like the one girl in Canada that said that to me, I found out she grew up in Empire.
Damn.
That's so loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, how'd you not hear this accent before? You know, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's just weird because like I said, I don't think of it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But then even things that I say, like I noticed it with Bully because he'd call me out on things.
Yeah.
The cops coming after you.
Fucking ambulance. But when he would call me out, he'd call me out on things. He'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck did you say?" I'm like, "I don't know. I said this today." "No, what the fuck, man?" I'm like, "Oh, it just means this." Like, or what did I say earlier? I said something about Derek. So I said smoking Derek or something or whatever. Something about Derek. And they're like, "What the fuck did you say? What did you just say?" And I was like, "Oh, like Derek." I'm like, you know, like Derek's like, "No." And I was like smokes. Like I've never heard that once in my life. I'm like, really? I'm like, weird. And I was like, smoking Derek's and breaking hearts. And they're like, what? They're like, wait, whoa, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, smoking Derek's, hacking Derek's.
Fuck yeah. Well, bro, should we let you get to your night or what?
What's going on here?
Eh?
What's our time? What's our time at?
My laptop died, but
1 hour 10 minutes basically.
Hour 10. Damn.
Yeah, man. I guess it's also kind of late. Yo, actually, just real quick, I'm like, earlier whenever I was trying to like figure out stuff, I was like looking to see how long the drive was and like trying to figure shit out. And I'm like, yeah, like what's going on, whatever.
Yeah.
And I stopped and looked up and went, oh my god, are we in a different time zone? And they're like, we're like a fucking hour and a half from Ottawa, man. Like, they're like, chill out. I was like, yeah, but like Manitoba is another time zone.
Right.
And they're like, again, Manitoba is like many hours from your house. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, true, eh? Like, yeah. But so I started thinking, I'm like, shit, am I running on a different time? And I'm like fucking shit up or whatever. But yeah, no, okay, well, Well, and even too, man, I'm not sure, but I swear to God, I saw something earlier before we came here that showed a time difference. But even once I thought of it after, like I totally know that. Like I know that it doesn't change again until the far east. But yeah, man. No, we've had a bad couple of weeks here. I guess we had the fucking storm.
Yeah, some unfortunate luck.
Affected, but and then it was funny too because it was like we changed it to do it on Saturday instead, and then fucking the storm. But we would have already had it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man. But then it's crazy that the storm still affected us the next week with that one.
Like out of it for like a week, it fucking sucked.
Yeah, it's crazy, no doubt, man. That's wild.
Yeah, man. My buddy, last I checked, man, he was still out of power, and he said he posted a thing saying going on day 10, no power, and he lives right by like IKEA. I was like, holy shit, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Canada. Canada was kind of the last ones or whatever. It was working its way out to Canada from the city, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. We got lucky, man. I never lost power, but lost internet for 6 days.
Crazy, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Storm.
Yeah, but yeah, I know it's so yeah, like I said, it kind of fucked us up the last couple of weeks, and then on top of it, like this week with the guests and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're coming strong next week.
Coming back
we
strong, baby.
We got a guest that's been a long time coming as well, and I kind of excited for that one.
Nice, yeah, I can't wait.
So yeah, we'll see what's up. You guys got any plans for the weekend?
I'm just working around the new house myself.
It's Rib Fest tomorrow, like here on Spark Street in Ottawa, so I'm hitting that up tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, my same buddy that had the power outage for a while, he was at Rib Fest the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, it looked pretty big. Like looked like there's a lot of like venues or whatever you call them, vendors.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he even said too. He's like, I think this is the biggest year I've ever seen it. And I was like, sick, man. Yeah,
That's awesome.
That is dope. Because I was hoping that's what I said to you. Like, it's either gonna be really shitty or it's gonna be huge.
One or the other for sure. Oh man, COVID. People are excited to get back out. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I just want to say shout out to Sammy Skills for putting on the show last night. Shout out to KGs for tearing down the fucking roof or whatever you do, and yeah, inviting me and having me come with them and do the damn thing, you know. I also just want to say shout out to a young man by the name of Holden. A shout out to everybody I met last night. But shout out to this Holden. He does a podcast. I forget what the podcast is called, but he's right away. I was like, yo, look at this guy. He's like got like a sports jacket on. And he's got like a pink button-up shirt, but the shirt's like open, and it's like you can see his like chest and shit.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's like
80s shit.
Like he's like a character or something, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, look at this guy, fucking whatever. And the chick or whatever was there, and she like knows him and was like, yo, this guy does a podcast too. I'm like, yo, that's the guy with the fucking chest hair and shit, whatever. Yeah. And she's like, no, that's part of his brand or whatever, you know? And I'm like, what? And then like the more I saw this dude, I'm like, yo, I get it now. I get it. Like he's just, but he was on stage. He actually did a couple of bars on stage or whatever, a couple of songs. And Paco turns to me, he goes, yo, man. He goes, this guy looks like fucking Timinator. And look up, I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like, it looks like Timinator, just like a little bit taller. Shit. It was good. Shit. But no, shout out to that guy. What's the name of the podcast Holden does?
Behind the Two.
Behind what?
Behind the Two.
Behind the Two?
Yeah.
Behind the Two?
Behind the suits, I think. Like a suit that you wear?
Oh, a suit.
Yeah.
Like a suit? Okay, yeah. Behind the suit, yeah.
Okay. But I'm done yesterday.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Check it out.
But yeah, no, check them out. And yeah, no, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that was there last night. I know it's pretty sick. We got some good love from everybody, and I definitely talked to a bunch of people, and I gave a bunch of people our information. I forgot to bring cards like from the Airbnb to the show.
Yeah.
So I know I talked to a bunch of people, and I just feel bad because I fucking forget most of them, but I did see them follow us, so I followed them back.
Dope.
Also, just real quick too, we were walking to the show, and there was a guy. The guy taking a picture of another guy, and the one dude's standing in front of this like truck, like it's like a work van or whatever, but it's got like the name and like phone number and all that on it, right?
Yeah.
So buddy's taking a picture and he's pointing at it, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, can I get in this picture? And he's like, actually, man, he's like, I want you in this picture. I'm like, okay, sick. So we get in the picture, we take a couple pictures, whatever, and then like I go to leave. I'm like, yeah, see you guys later. I'm like, yo, check out 4G Audio Podcast. And then I ended up staying for a bit to like make sure they like did it on their phone and stuff.
Yeah, nice.
And everybody's like gone ahead and like just trying to get to the show. I'm like, oh shit, man, like I gotta keep going, man.
Yeah.
We got lost in fucking Montreal, but no, I tried to make sure everyone fucking knew who we were.
Nice.
Ace, Crazy Ace or something like that. He posted a picture of me and KGs and Sammy Skills and somebody else, and pretty sick picture. But any motherfucking way.
Well,
gang,
you,
baby.
bro. Shout out to you. Big shout out.
Fucking right. Shout out to you guys too. Gang and Marvin.
Yeah. We'll be back next week. In studio.
Fucking right. We have a female guest next week. That's all I'll say.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, gang. You already know what it is, baby. Yeah. Anyways, that's it, man. Love you guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
All that fun stuff.
Yep.
And like you crazy motherfuckers already know, I'm Styles the Prophet, baby.
Aha, I'm B Show.
And I'm Jonesy.
Together with the Basement Weirdos. This is the 4G Audio Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. All the way from Montreal, I'm Styles the Prophet. Gang.